Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. The ATF, the NFA, eForms. If you guys follow this kind of stuff, I'm sure you have an idea of what's going on. I put a video out last Tuesday, literally titled, "The time to buy a suppressor is right now." And I'll put a link down in the description. That video did really well. And I got a lot of comments from people that were getting approved very quickly. Now, not everyone was, myself included. I've had a Form 4 out there for a couple months for a new suppressor. I have not gotten an approval, but it looked really good to me that they were approving things quickly finally, that they finally seemed to be doing what they were supposed to be doing and getting eForm approvals down to 90 days or less. And in fact, Congress even earmarked money for the ATF in order to get eForms Form 4 approvals down to that 90-day and less point. And a lot of these approvals were even much less than 90 days. Some of people were saying 3 days. A couple people got them in a matter of hours. A lot of people in a few weeks, a month, maybe 2 months, which was hopeful for a lot of us, especially those of us that were waiting on suppressors to get approved. Well, 2 days later, they shut down the eForms system. So that Tuesday video aged like Joe Biden or Nancy Pelosi. I just kind of couldn't believe it. 2 days after that video came out, where I was thinking that it was the perfect time for people that didn't want to wait, because, you know, the wait when you buy a suppressor, my first one took 11 months. And waiting, that really sucks. Now, the whole NFA thing is unconstitutional and it's an infringement on our rights, and it all sucks. Having to give them your fingerprints sucks. Having to even go through the NFA process at all, be put on a list, because you are, if you go through the NFA process. Now, I've got a few NFA items at this point. I don't care about having more items on that list, but I do understand people that don't want to do that. But a lot of people really just don't want to have to wait for something that they've paid for and then paid an extra $200 tax stamp on top of. People don't want to have to wait 11 months, a year, 13 months more to get their item, because it's basically, if you can legally purchase a firearm, then you can legally purchase an NFA item. And so there's no reason for the wait. And I've always kind of felt like it's just something that the ATF does just to spite us gun owners, because they don't want these things in our hands. They don't want us to have short-barreled rifles, suppressors. They definitely don't want us to have machine guns. Bump stock things going on right now, a lot of stuff. And that's what this video is going to be about until they shut down the eForms system. I want to take a quick minute to talk about this video's sponsor, which is Aura. And the reason why is because it's a product that I actually do believe in. Now that I've been using it for a little while, it's actually improved my life. I get a lot less spam calls than I used to get, which is kind of huge. I use my phone for work, and so I have to answer numbers that I don't recognize. And it's nice to not be getting those spam calls all the time anymore. The other thing is, I had my bank account hacked 3 times last year, and I had to get new debit cards at least twice. And then I had to, get all of my bills that were automatically paid fixed and switched over to the new cards. Huge hassle. And Aura takes care of all that stuff so that you don't end up having to deal with those kinds of problems anymore. They scour the internet and they find wherever your information is being sold to scammers and spammers and anybody else that wants to use your information to sell your information, and they submit opt-out requests on your behalf, which helps get rid of all that stuff, so you don't have to deal with that anymore. And ever since I've been using it, I actually have noticed a big difference. And in fact, I get alerts from Aura when they find where my information has been leaked, and then they fix that for me, and that's been huge. And they do a lot of other things too. They have VPN, password management, parental controls, all kinds of stuff, and you get it at a very low price, a lot less than you would pay if you bought all of those things individually. And it helps the channel. With YouTube demonetizing pretty much all of my videos now, If you sign up for Aura, it helps me grow the channel, and that is greatly appreciated. So please check out Aura. Get 2 weeks for free if you use my link, aura.com/sawtoothtactical. I'd really appreciate it. I respect my privacy and I respect yours. I felt like I had to make a video about this eForms shutdown and just give you guys my opinion on it. Now, I'm recording this on Thursday, 2 days after my Tuesday video about the short wait times for the eForms. Well, this video is not going to come out for a couple days because I already have some videos scheduled, unfortunately. Or fortunately, hopefully you guys have seen those videos and enjoyed them. And we'll see, maybe something will happen between now and the time this video comes out. But at this moment, the eForms website is down. Now, the eForms website is a terrible website. It's not easy to use, really. I mean, it is if you know what you're doing, but it can be confusing at first, for sure. And it looks like it's from like 1996. It doesn't, with all of the money that these government agencies get, tax money from you and me, you'd think that they could build a decent website. You go to like Primary Arms or something, there are zillions of people on there every day buying all kinds of stuff. Everything works smoothly and it's all good. Palmetto State Armory, any of these kinds of websites, lots of websites work just fine. The ATF eForms website has problems regularly. I've ran into problems trying to certify Form 1 SBRs. I can't remember if it was the first or the second one that I did, but it took me like 3 days to certify it. It was a problem. It's not a good website. Well, all of a sudden they shut it down completely. And this is after the first time ever that people were finally getting approvals in a reasonable amount of time. Which to me, I'm wondering what exactly is going on in the background here, because something isn't right. So a couple years ago, they started eForms, and they were supposed to, they said that was going to take approval times to 90 days or less. Well, that never happened. I got my first suppressor after eForms started about a year later, and it took 11 months, as I said before. Many other people have gone through the same thing, and it's taken a year, or close to it, or more than a year. So the 90-day thing never really happened. Well, Congress has been pushing the ATF, and they even gave them extra money in their budget to be able to make NFA approval times faster. Well, all of a sudden, these times didn't just get a little bit faster, they got a lot faster. Like I said, people were getting them in a matter of days, sometimes even hours. Now, it wasn't everybody. It kind of seems like they were approving them from the top of the stack. People that had forms out there from months and months ago. Some people, I had over 900 comments in 2 days on that video, which I always say at the end of every video that I answer every comment. It has been very difficult to answer 900 comments in 2 days, and I'm still trying to catch up on that. But a lot of people in those comments had gotten suppressor approvals very, very quickly. But a lot of people that had forms in from a long time ago still had not gotten approvals. And so it didn't seem, obviously they're not doing them in the order received. They're just seems like they're just kind of pulling them off the top of the stack. And it kind of gave the impression that they're trying to do this to maybe give the impression that approval times are faster by bringing the average down. See, if you've got a bunch of people that are a year out, well, and then you get a bunch that are approved in hours or days, well, that affects the average wait time a lot more than approving those people that are out there a year. Just the way that the mathematics works, it seems like they just approved a bunch of them off the top of the stack. And I don't know if that's what they were trying to do, was to just make that average look better for Congress, for who knows what reason. But then 2 days later, they shut down eForms. Now, what is this all about? They said it's about budgetary reasons. And again, let me remind you, I'm filming this on Thursday, so if something has come out since then saying anything different, but it is, at the moment, they're saying that it is down indefinitely. We'll see how long it's actually down for. But they're saying budgetary reasons. Now, the reason why I have a problem with this is, like I said, they literally had extra money in their budget earmarked for NFA approvals. The ATF does a lot of things, and almost none of it is good. The thing that they're cutting from their budget is the one thing that we would appreciate if they'd get done, approving our suppressors, SBRs. That's kind of bullshit. And especially when all of a sudden, I'm sure a lot of people tried to log in to get suppressors because they were seeing short wait times for the first time in history and felt like it was a good time to get suppressors, and now you can't even do that. The big thing that they talk about as far as why it has generally taken so long to get a suppressor approval is that they have so many forms to approve. At any given time, there's 500,000 forms in the queue. I think as I'm recording this video, there's something like 290,000. Well, 290,000 times $200, the price of a tax stamp, is a lot of money. 500,000 times 200,000, or 500,000 times 200, that's a ton of money. And I know that that's not exactly how the budget works. It's a tax stamp. That means it's paid as a tax. It doesn't go directly to the ATF, but that I'm sure that does in some way help fund the money that goes to the ATF budget. I'm not sure exactly how that works, and I could be wrong. But obviously, that money that went to their budget to help approvals times come down, approval times were coming down, which also says to me, were they just making them long to spite us? I don't know. Like I said, 500,000 at any given time, that's a lot of forms, and I get it. Apparently there was like 4 people doing them for years, and then at one point there was only 1 person. I don't know how many people are approving them now, but I do know that instead of getting a person's actual signature on your tax stamp, now it just says like approved. So maybe they've automated the system. I'm not really sure. I don't work at the ATF, but I can only really speculate from the things that I've heard. But why now are they shutting down their eForms system when they've got all this money in there for it? A bunch of new people applying for tax stamps. It seems like a real big infringement on our rights, in my opinion. The NFA process was already an infringement on our rights. But if you don't even let people get tax stamps, now you can still fill out a paper form. But then what was the point of implementing the eForms system? And the paper forms generally do take longer. The whole point of eForms was to streamline things and make it faster. But I want to know what you guys think, because maybe new information has come to light since I recorded this video. Let me know down in the comments if you know something that I don't. I would love to hear from you guys. I do, like I said, try to answer every comment. For 2.5 years, I've answered every comment. And then all of a sudden, I've had so many comments this week to try to catch up on. It has been very difficult. But I will eventually get to all of them, I'm sure. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. If you want to support the channel, sign up for Aura. You get 2 weeks for free. It's only $12 a month after that. And then you can cancel whenever you want. And I do get a kickback for the channel if you sign up. That is super helpful to me because YouTube doesn't like to monetize my videos apparently anymore. From Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.